So, Devin, how about you? Like, what would you imagine is the most predominant Asian, like, hate crime against Asians that people talk about? What's happening against Asians? Like, the most common thing that happens. That's the reason for this hashtag.
Honestly, I'm not 100% sure.
What do you imagine?
Just from what I've heard, it's like mainly...
It's like what?
Mainly like assault crime, like assault, lots of racism, obviously.
What would racism be? Like, what's it look like?
Whether it's like slurs or mocking,
slurs.
you know, stuff like that. Just, yeah, I don't know exactly.
Okay. So most of the what's identified as hate crimes against Asians, most of it is name calling, right? Like slurs and stuff. And mind you, like slurs, like bro, a slur. If the guy came out of that store and called you a name, right? It'd be very different than if he came up and punched you.
Right. There is still a difference.
Yeah. So one of the issues is when we talk about assaults against Asians, if most assaults are calling somebody a name, calling you a name, if we say assault, and what everyone thinks we're talking about is somebody like hitting you. But in fact, what we're talking about for most of the time, like 85% of the time, it's a slur, which isn't just a slur. It's a problem, right? But it's not the same as getting beat up.
まあ、slur だけでも問題だよね。
I think like when it comes to slurs, you are targeting someone's race directly versus like you can punch anybody on the street no matter what they look like.
Yep.
But to say a slur, you know that a slur is associated with your race.
Yeah.
And that I think takes it like a step further, or it's like more personal,
Yeah.
maybe. Like I don't know, because.
Well, that's what makes it a hate thing,
だから、
right? But I'm just pointing out when we talk about what the hate crimes are,
パンチより
this is the thing. This is really important, and so this is one of the things in Social 119 that you're going to, the kinds of stuff that we will talk about in here. That we won't. I generally don't like to just randomly use words, like assaults and attacks, because an attack. There was a case of the woman. Remember that woman in San Francisco? No, it was in New York City. An old, elderly Asian woman. She's like 90 years old, and she got attacked by a woman with an axe, I think it was, right, or something. I think it was an axe.
斧で攻撃されたの
That's really different than Albert walking down the street and someone calling him a name. That's a really different thing. And so in a class like Social 19, it's really incumbent upon us to have honest and open conversations, because that's how we have the fruitful conversation. Who has a question for either one of them before we go? Bro.
というわけでいかがだったでしょうか。このチャンネルでは人種関連の大学の講義や人種に関連するニュース等を翻訳して配信したりしています。そういった動画をね、見逃したくないよとか、このチャンネルをね、応援してくれよって人は今のうちにチャンネル登録よろしくお願いします。というわけで今回もありがとうございました。また次回の動画で会いましょう。バイ。